We're actually going to be into the continuation of top 50 tips to get fit after 50. Actually have quite a few in the trenches experience, if you will, or really deep dive I've went into with a number of people over 50 that just struggled for a lot of different reasons, and things that I found that have not only been helpful for myself personally, but people that I've worked with in my Brave coaching program. Let's go. Number 11. Welcome back to another episode of the Brave Today podcast. The show will encourage, challenge, and maybe even provoke you to step outside of your comfort zone, take more action to better improve yourself and your health. I'm your host, Mark Avens, and in this crazy upside down world that seems to keep pushing a narrative for people like you and me to become softer and weaker and sicker and unhealthier and more dependent than ever, the goal and intent of the show is to help you navigate through it so that you can not only become brave, but braver today than you were yesterday. A few details about the type of shows that I offer. Sometimes I'll be doing what's called Brave guest interviews. And those are basically brave people that I look up to, regular people like you and me, but they are brave. Not only brave today, they're also helping a lot of people in all different areas of life become braver than they were yesterday. I also do Brave Q&A where I answer questions. So I actually have a bunch of questions that have come in. So I'll be answering those shortly. I haven't done one of those in a hot minute, and those will be coming very, very soon. Next, I do Flavor of the Day, and that's where I discuss latest news on health and fitness. Essentially, I just get to pick apart all the latest crappy diet trends, workout fads, pills, potions that just re-evolving. They reinvent themselves, change the name, and maybe tweak one or two things, but they're all pretty much garbage. I like to break them down and give my opinion of those. And then also, lastly, I have a breakthrough episode where I'll be deep diving into an area, be it physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, basically any area that could be holding you back, to provide insight and guidance so that you can actually have some breakthroughs with your personal health and fitness journey. Now, this is a bit of a breakthrough episode. We're actually going to be into the continuation of top 50 tips to get fit after 50. That's a mouthful. Top 50 fit. See, top 50 tips to get fit after 50. So I'm after 50. I'm a year after 50, 51 years old. And in the course of my life, the 40s were different than the 30s. The 30s were different than the 20s. The 50s are definitely different. And over the course of time, not just in my own personal journey, but also working with countless people, hundreds, really thousands by now, men and women like you that are over 50. I've actually have quite a few, let's say, in the trenches experience, if you will, or some really deep dive I've went into with a number of people over 50 that just struggled for a lot of different reasons, and things that I found that have not only been helpful for myself personally, but people that I've worked with in my Brave coaching program. Brave. All right. To be brave today, braver today than you were yesterday. Let's go. Number 11. If you're ready, hopefully take some notes, because we are going to deep dive the next 10. This is part 2 of the top 50 tips. So we did the first 10. You can go back and look at the first 10. We are on number 11, which is handle your stress. What do I mean by handle your stress? Well, we have stress, right? And there's lots of different types of stress. There's good stress, just kind of regular stress. There's not so good stress, things that you can't handle, but you got to learn how to handle. So maybe you can handle the stress of being a parent, right? For me, one 18-year-old and one 20-year-old. And it's been different levels of stress over the years, from when they were little babies, changing diapers, worrying about putting their finger in the light socket, all those types of things, to running out in the middle of the street, to now when they're driving, friends and taking off and going into different parts of the country, or, just driving in a car, those type of things. But you got to actually know how to handle your stress. So that is going to be very, very helpful for you. Stress is something that will cause you to age quicker. It will also cause you to have those little stress hormones. You've heard of cortisol before. Stress will get those cortisol hormones just firing, and it'll make it really hard for you. If you don't handle your stress, it will make it very hard for you to get shape, get fit. And even if you're in somewhat decent shape, probably if you're at this point and you're maybe close to my age at 51, maybe you're in halfway decent shape, you probably want to get in better shape. I'll put my hand up and be the first to tell you that I do. And I know a number of people that want to, that know how good it is to be in better shape. And the hard thing is, stress can easily get in the way of you becoming your physical best. There's something that Andy Frisell had shared that personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion. And that will help with your stress. That will be a rebellion. Stress will come against you. But if you actually strive to become personally excellent, and what does that mean? I'm not going to here to get into the deep parts of that. One of the things I will say is to learn how to handle your stress. For me, exercise is really a great way for me to handle stress. I tend, when I'm having a stressful day, I work at always really just helps me filter it. It helps me actually combat against stress, going for a long walk or taking my dog out, having some quiet time, prayer in the morning, making sure that I don't skip out of my morning prayer time, and then just expressing the gratitude I have for getting through the day. That really helps. When I start to focus on things that are positive, things that I know I can control, and things that are good, usually the stress is something that I can handle better. All right, number 11, that's 11. Number 12, let's go. Learn how to cook at home. Now, this can be stressful because I don't know about you, but I know this day and age, a lot of people that have actually come through my pipeline and my coaching program, they're not cooks, or they maybe know how to cook, but their lives are just so busy. I want to say that cooking is way easier, way easier than most people led on to believe. And if you can learn how to cook at home, it's going to be very helpful when you know what's in the food that you're eating versus going out to eat. And of course, fast food, not only you don't know what's in it, but it's not good for you, right? And I don't care if they're all those health food places, let's just say like a Chipotle or something that's claimed to, this hair healthy, got your meat and your protein, now with sodium and all the extra stuff you get on it. You can go out of there with a burrito that's 2,500 calories in your calorie intake for the day. So do yourself a favor, learn how to boil water, learn how to cook at home. Instapot, crock pot, frying pan, you can steam stuff. You can eat raw stuff, right? You can make shakes and smoothies. There's so many easy ways. You do not need to be a culinary expert for you to learn how to work the kitchen. Most of you probably have great kitchens in your home. Learn how to cook at home. You're going to get fit if you learn how to cook your own food. With that said, the more stuff that you have to actually prepare versus stuff that's already prepared, the better off you're going to be. Maybe you have prepared foods, you have those lean cuisines, the Weight Watchers, you have all that stuff, right? I guarantee you start getting away from that, learning how to cook. It's going to help you get fit after 50. Now, this isn't just my opinion. This is actually what's worked for me personally in my health and fitness journey, as well as the sample size of probably right now over 10,000 that I've worked with in the last 30 years on all different levels, from personal training people in their homes to having my own gym to being online and everything in between, doing physical therapy and rehab. And so I do have just a wee bit of experience and knowledge for that. So that was number 12. Number 13, stretch daily, stretch daily, stretch daily. When should you stretch? Daily. How often can you stretch, or should you stretch? As much as you possibly can. Stretching is great. Now, you want to know how to stretch. I can literally probably give you a whole course on that. That would take a week. But ultimately, just to give you an idea, stretching, flexibility work. Your body moves better when you're more flexible, right? When you are moving your joints, your limbs, your muscles in the proper manner, then your joints and limbs are going to move properly and you're not going to risk an injury, right? You have those back problems from sitting all day. It's not necessarily because you've been sitting all day. It's probably because you're pretty tight and you probably don't do much stretching. You're probably not strong in your lumbar spine or in your core. So those are some things. Get some help knowing how to stretch. There's things like dynamic stretching and static stretching. And there's things like soft tissue work using foam rollers and Theraguns and massage sticks. And there's ways to do different types of cool down stretches and warm up stretches. But ultimately, that is going to be a huge factor. And here's what's so great about stretching and making it a part of your normal life is it's going to help you improve your performance on all areas of your life. It's going to get you to have better workouts. It's going to allow you to prevent injury. Like I mentioned, it's going to also give you an opportunity. Like, you want to just bend over your entire shoes and you're not flexible. The daily living things, as we get older, the activities they called ADLs, and I'm not talking about brushing your teeth. I'm talking about like bending over, right? Putting your pants on, those types of things without feeling like you're 80 when you're 50. It's going to be very important for you to stretch daily. We do that for all of our students. I do that personally every single time that I go to the gym. And right now, doing 75 hard, I'm at the gym every single day, non-negotiable. And I go pretty much on the rest of the time when I'm not doing 75 hard. It's usually 5 days a week, but I do practice stretching, flexibility work. I make sure my joints and my muscles are working properly. And you do that, it's going to give you a better opportunity to get in better shape, especially after 50. You can do it under 50, you can do it under 30. In fact, I wish I actually did more of it in my 20s and 30s and even 40s. But here I am now and I'm working it. And the good thing is you can start wherever you're at now today. Okay, number 14, drink more water. Drink more water. Drink more water. How much water? More. The majority of people, 90, probably 8 to 99%, the people that I've worked with, connected with, and we have a conversation about water, most people have no idea how much they're drinking. Oh, I drink plenty of water. And they have zero idea because then I ask, how much are you drinking a day? And they don't track. So, in order for you to know how much you should be drinking, first get an idea on how much you are currently drinking. I'm talking just water, not your sodas, not your coffees, not your teas, not your juices, water, straight out water. Now, this is not my opinion. This is just simple nutrition as a formula. It's literally half of your body weight in ounces of water per day. The goal you should be striving for. So that means if you're 200 pounds, I fluctuate around 200 pounds. Ideally for me, about 100 ounces of water is ideal. Now, I'll just kind of put in a side note. If you're significantly overweight, if you are in the 100 plus pounds over your ideal weight, so maybe you want to be 200, but right now you're 300. I'm not saying you have to do 150. In fact, that probably would be hard for the majority of people that I know that are significantly overweight. But what I would do is to first try for your ideal weight and go for that. If you're 300 pounds and your ideal weight is 200 pounds, try to still get 100 ounces of water a day. That's pretty straightforward. Now, of course, if you sweat more, if you're more active, you live in a hotter climate, then you're going to want to drink more than that. And I always get the pushback. Oh, but I got to pee so much. I'll be in the bathroom all the time. Yes. And your body needs to get acclimated, adjusted to it. If it's not used to drinking water, of course, it's going to initially have that kind of feedback to you by hitting potty breaks every other 20 minutes, right? So ultimately, you do need to condition your body to be able to consume more water. It's going to be very helpful. It's going to help you in your blood flow. It's going to help you process and digest all the nutrients that go through your body. Plus, you're going to have less brain fog because your brain is comprised a good percentage of water. We are made up as humans, a lot of water. And I see far too many people who are dehydrated walking around like zombies and caffeinated and don't hydrate properly. So I think I beat that one like a dead horse. I guess that's the saying. So that is number 14. Number 15, track your progress, track your progress, track your progress. I want you to track your progress. You need to track your progress any which way. You can track it on a phone. You can track it on your watch. You can track it old school style in a journal. You can track it with a pedometer. You can track your food. You can track your steps. You can track your pictures. You can track your measurements. You can track the scale. There's so many things that you can do to get fit. Pick one. If you're already, well, the mark, I get on the scale every day. Great. Are you taking pictures of yourself every day? You want to have a transformation. You want to see change. You want your body to change its shape. Forget looking at the scale because I can tell you the scale is a terrible tool if you're trying to transform your body. Yes, if you're 100 pounds overweight, it's going to be probably a decent thing to do is to check your weight. But ultimately, you want to take pictures. That's another way. So do yourself a favor, track your progress. Our students track their workouts, they track their steps, and they track their water. They track their pictures, they track measurements, and they also track their results because they're getting them. Because all of our clients that are doing this, and I wish I could say all of them, but most of them are. And sometimes they get off track, but they're very grateful 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 4 months, 6 months, 12 months after that they've done this because then they can look back and see how far they've come. If you're not tracking, if you're not measuring, you're guessing, and that's how you're going to get results. You're going to get estimate results. And that's usually not what most people want. It's what most people get. It's not what most people want. Okay, number 16. Always use a grocery list. Always use a grocery list. The grocery list is huge. It's such an important tool. And I don't care if you have a grocery list on your phone. There might be even some apps. I don't currently know any. I haven't really used an app for grocery lists, but I do like grocery lists and I like taking grocery lists. You can even put it on your phone in the notes section and just put your grocery list there. And then you can look back at what you got the last time, next time you're at the grocery store. Not only is the list going to be helpful for you to not put stuff in your grocery cart, all the impulsive buys, all the things that they have waiting for you in the front of the grocery store when you walk in. When you have the list and you stick to the list, you're going to get what's on the list. And if you have a plan in place and you know what you're going to eat at home and you're making food and doing all those things, you're going to be far, far ahead of 95% of the people out there who are just winging at the grocery store. Having a list is going to also help save money because how many times, I'll put my hand up first, how many times have you gone and said, I only need like 3 things, and you come home with like, $200 worth of stuff and like 4 bags full, and you didn't have a list? Again, this day and age, I know people are always looking to ways to save money. Do yourself a favor, bring yourself to the grocery store after you make your grocery list. Okay. Number 17, actually use your gym membership. Do you have a gym membership? Do you actually use it? 2 very, very different things. I know there's more people now. If you go look and you can go search for yourself, do the research. There's more people now on the planet. We'll just talk in the United States. There's more people now in the United States that have gym memberships than ever before in history. More people now than ever before. And I don't know the exact number, but I do know that now in 2024, there's more gyms now than ever before, more gym memberships. But why is it with all the gyms and the gym memberships that people aren't getting in better shape? Now, of course, it has to do with things outside of the gym. You go to the gym for a half hour, maybe 3 or 4 times a week, or an hour for 3 or 4 times a week. What about the rest of the days, right? But here's the thing. This is literally the business plan for most gym memberships. Most gym memberships, they sell you a gym membership, $10 a month, $39 a month. I have one that my wife and I go to, and it's like a kind of like a YMCA health club here. And that's, I think for the 2 of us, about 129, but they have everything. They have classes and weights, and they have 3 locations, and they have basketball courts and sauna and steam room. I haven't used really all the stuff, but I actually like the club. It's pretty clean, and they have different locations to go to, which makes it fun. But here's the thing. The majority of gyms, whether it's like that kind or more like your Crunch Fitness or your Planet Fitness, $10 a month, do you think if everybody that had a gym membership went to the gym, they would actually be able to service you well? No. That's the whole business plan of most gym memberships. Like a gym is meant to rent you equipment, essentially. That's it. It's like a rental company. You go, you rent the gym, use the equipment. But what the heck is a big deal for $10 or $20 a month? They don't care if you go or don't. In fact, they'd actually prefer that most people don't go because then it's less wear and tear on their equipment, less they have to service, less employees that they need to have to service customers. So it's going to be more cost effective for everybody to have gym memberships and nobody go. It's just the fact. So what happens if you don't use your gym membership? Well, you're not exercising, right? There's nobody I know that has a gym membership but is like, what? I'm working out at home instead. Maybe 1 in 1,000. No, I'm paying for a gym membership, but I just don't like going to the gym. So I'm going to work out at home. That just doesn't make sense. If you have a gym membership, actually use your gym membership. Now, I think what happens, this is my personal opinion. This is opinion, and I'll speculate, but it is my opinion that I do believe what happens this time of year, and that's already passed. People that buy gym memberships in the new year are already not going. And you get all fired up. You're motivated. You're new year, new me. I'm going to drop 50 pounds. This is the year. This is my year. I'm going to make a change. I'm very determined. You even have your why, your goals in place. And then you go to the gym and you just don't know what to do. Like you're lost, or you feel intimidated, or you feel embarrassed because you let yourself go. And you see people that are gym goers like me, they are all the time killing it in the gym. And they look like they're in shape, and they are. Why? Because they're actually using their gym membership. But here's the disconnect, and this is what's really hard, is people don't get the help that they need. What they'll do is they'll go look on YouTube for some videos, or they'll ask a friend, or they'll take a class, right? They'll jump in a spin class. They've never been on a bike before, and they get their asses kicked in the spin class, and they get so discouraged because they're 40 years old and they're next to Miss Nancy next to him on the spin bike, who's 75 years old, and she's making her embarrassed because she's so out of shape. And then you get discouraged and then you don't go back, right? Or you go for a couple of weeks in the beginning of the year and the weight didn't come off because you were expecting the gym membership to do all the work for you. Nothing you had to do at home outside. You could still party, drink wine, and you could still sit around and watch Netflix and order, Uber Eats, right? And have DoorDash sent to your home. And because you're going to the gym, you're expecting great results. It just doesn't happen that way. So you're going to need to use your gym membership. And the best way to do it, now that I've beat you up about your gym membership, is to get help, proper help. If you go to a trainer at your gym, make sure they know what the hell they're doing. Ask questions, investigate, reach out to somebody like me. Now, I'm not in a gym and I don't train people in the gym. I do it all online. And our students, they get proper direction and skill so that whether they work out at home or in the gym, there is no wondering what or how to do a certain exercise. We have demonstrations. We have descriptions of everything. We get feedback from our clients. We literally make it a no-brainer for them. And we could for you if you were a good fit for our program. But I'm not here to talk about that. Let's go into number 18. We got 3 to go. Number 18, avoid negative people. This is a really, really good one. You want to avoid the negativity, avoid negative people. People that said, oh, yeah, I remember you joined the gym last year. How many times did you use it? Even if that's your spouse, right? Even if they see you are kind of motivated and you're doing something in this new year. Now, I'm not saying to go get divorced, but I'm saying you probably want to either have a heart to heart if it's a family member or if it's a friend, just be like, this is what I'm doing and nobody's going to stop me. And I would actually like your support, but I don't need it. That's a good one to use. How to avoid negative people? You either support what I do or you don't, because I'm going to do it either way. Doesn't matter, right? If you want to support me, that'd be great. Like if you're my friend or family member, you want to support my efforts, great, but I'm doing this for me, not you. So whether you support me or not, if you don't support me, chances are I'm going to probably limit the amount of time that I spend with you. So you want to avoid negative people. If you're trying to diet, trying to lose weight, I don't even care how you're doing it. I don't care if you're using medication, if you're starving yourself, if you went and had a tummy tuck, you had a little makeover tummy tuck, whatever it was, and people are starting to give you a hard time, just avoid them. Maybe you can't avoid all of them. Maybe your coworkers and stuff, but you want to do yourself a favor and get around positive people that are going to lift you up and inspire you and encourage you. That's something that we take very much pride in our Brave coaching program. And that's for everything. Avoid negative people. That's for anything. In things that you do in your life, you probably should be avoiding negative people. It'd be very, very productive for you to avoid the negative people. It's going to make you hit your goals. You want to get fit after 50, you're going to get there way faster, and you'll be able to probably go even further in your fitness if you keep those negative people at arm's length or find some new people. Let's move on. Number 19, go to bed earlier. I was laughing. My wife had sent me a text and I didn't get it. And the next morning, and I think there was like maybe 2 or 3. How come you didn't text me back? And she's in Florida currently right now, but I actually have fallen asleep. And now I go to bed early to rise. And I would say probably around 9:30 is my time. Sometimes 10, 9:30 is usual. And I get up around 4:35, usually 4:30. But I went to bed and I had a long day. And I think because it was darker out earlier, I fell asleep at like 7:45, 8 o'clock. I kid you not. And I think I was on a weekend. And I want to say that I think I got up still at 4, which was like 8 or 9, maybe 5. I think I got up, maybe 9 hours of sleep. And I'll tell you what, I felt amazing. Now I do get at least 6. I try to get a solid 7, and 8 is on a rarity. But go to bed early. That's going to help you. And I know a lot of people who don't go to bed early. Now, I know there's some of you night owls out there that you're more productive in the evening. That's totally cool. But I'm talking for the majority of people that you're staying up watching Netflix, right? Or you're doing work, or you're really just not unwinding. You're go, and then it's time to go to bed, but you're waiting too long and you're not going to bed earlier. And you're maybe jacked up on caffeine you had in the afternoon or what have you, or you ate late, you got home late from work. Ideally, if you can get to bed earlier, that would be really, really good. The rest is really important because during the time you rest, your body is recovering. Your muscles are rebuilding and growing, and the healthy food and nutrients, all the positive things you did for yourself for the day, the workouts, the walking, hydrating, drinking enough water, half of your body weight in water, ounces a day, all those things added up, taking good care, dealing with your stress. when you go to bed, it's like when you plug in your phone before you go to bed, right? You recharge, and that's going to help you recharge. Going to bed earlier is probably one of the most undervalued ways for people to get in shape after 50. Do yourself a favor, go to bed earlier. It will be very, very beneficial. Now, number 20, the last one, it just coincides with going to bed earlier. Get up earlier, go to bed earlier, get up earlier when nobody else is up. I know you don't have to be a super early person like me at 4:30, but if you have, maybe you got to be at work at 8, you get up 6:37, get up at 5:30, get stuff done. If you have a hard time getting in your workouts, preload it. If you have a hard time drinking water or maybe planning out your meals, get up a half hour early and get that stuff done. Front load those things. I can tell you, for busy people, their 50s and 60s, even in their 40s, get up a little bit earlier. Just try it. Try 30 minutes earlier this week and watch how much more you get done, which means you'll have more time for you, which means you'll probably have more time to either write that grocery list, get that walk in, make sure you're hydrating, track your progress, all those things that you're probably not doing, or at least some of them you're probably not doing. When you're able to add in that time, you get some extra time to do it. It makes it easier to complete. It makes it easier for you to be consistent, and it makes it easier for you to get fit after 50. All right, we're at 20. We have 50 total. This was part 2. I would love to hear your comments, thoughts. If you liked one particular, if you had a question on them. I will say that I'm not an expert on all these. I would say it's progressive and I'm a work in progress myself, but I say I have a load of experience with these 20 and the 30 that we have coming. So be on the lookout for part 3. Hope you have an amazing, blessed day. And again, just lastly, if you enjoyed today's episode, all I ask is for you to support the podcast, subscribe to it, share the show with your friends. You can click the link if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify or podcast and share that. If you want to stay up to date, you can follow me on some social platforms, whether you're a LinkedIn person or Facebook or YouTube or Instagram. You can get some behind the scenes content. And there's some that I'm a little bit more active on than others. I just trying to get my word out there, and ultimately so that more people like you can become braver today than you were yesterday. Anyway, take care and have a blessed one. We'll see you.